What is up, everybody? Welcome to the dungeon. I'm your host, analytical mystic, and I am going to be doing your weekly tarot readings. We're going to see what the fuck's going on over the next week. I'll be starting with Aries all the way to Pisces, and we will pull one card for the general energy and one card for the love energy. I do both because everybody wants to know about love, but not everybody has love in their life. And I must say, CBP, oh my goodness, gotta acknowledge it's one of my triple OGs, you guys. Love you, CBP. Okay. Alright. One of the people that got me through the pandemic, you guys. Okie dokie. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Keep in mind these readings are general. They won't resonate with everybody. Do remember to consider your moon and rising signs as well. So, let's go ahead and hop into it. Let's see, what kind of energy will Aries encounter over the next week? What is going on with Aries over the next week? What kind of energy will Aries encounter? Hope you all had a good week. Good holiday. What are y'all doing this evening? Later on this evening. New Year's Eve, you guys. Happy New Year's Eve. Alright, what's going on with Aries over the next week? Let's see what's up. Aries, you have the Two of Pentacles. So here with the Two of Pentacles, you're very confused. 1 minute you're thinking one thing, 1 minute you want it one way, the next you're thinking another thing, the next minute you want it another way. So you're just kind of going back and forth, juggling, trying to figure out what you want. You could very well be juggling multiple things at this time, kind of overwhelming, just trying to keep it together and handle business. But it's very difficult because things have been very overwhelming. Holidays, need I say more? No, not really. So you've had a lot going on, and it's definitely been hard for you to not completely lose your shit and stay on course. But you're managing to make it happen somehow. Somehow you're making it happen. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Aries. What's going on in Aries' love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Aries encounter over the next week? Okay, Aries, you have the King of Cups. So, with the King of Cups, Aries, you are feeling very, very loving. You have a deep amount of affection for this person of interest or person you're connected to. In some situations where this is not really working out quite the way you want it to, you may be falling victim to just up and down moods all over the place, possibly even some self-deprecation. You may be definitely woe is me. Maybe one moment you feel like you're okay being single, the next you're not. You really, really want to be connected with somebody. So you're kind of struggling with those feelings. If you're not connected with somebody, the desire to connect with somebody, those are the feelings you're kind of struggling with. But if you are seeing somebody or dating somebody, you're feeling extremely fond of them, want to take care of them, want to look after them, show them all love and affection that you can, um, which is very interesting. It's very, very interesting. You're not always so open with your feelings. Not this direct, not these emotions, because I think oftentimes you don't want to really show a lot of emotion because perhaps you perceive it as a weakness. And you definitely don't want to give somebody power over you, any sort of power that could, hurt you. So that you're in the mood to express this affection, it's a very pivotal moment in your relationship. And since it does involve vulnerability, you may be unsure whether or not to express this. You feel it, you want to express this, but since it requires you to be vulnerable, you don't like being vulnerable, you're kind of reluctant. So you're kind of confused about what to do in this. But definitely feeling deep emotion, just confused about what to do about it, really. Okay. Let's move on to Taurus. CDP, if you're still here, you're up, buddy. All right. Let's see what is going on with Taurus over the next week. What is going on with Taurus over the next week? What kind of energy will Taurus encounter over the next week? How will it affect them? Does this look like this? That's why. Okay. What's going on with my Taurians? Taurus, you have the world. So there is something in your life that's wrapping up. It's coming to a conclusion. Some of you are relieved. Some of you are sad that it's over. Some of you are really just trying to look at relaxing. So perhaps you've just been dealing with all the chaos of the holidays and you're really ready to relax. You're really just ready to decompress and ready to leave all of that stuff behind you. You're ready to leave all of it behind. It's too much. You're over it. You're just totally over it. And now you just want to spend some time to yourself or your close people, the people that like you live with, and just try to relax. We got a little pipe here that's sticking out to me at this moment, so you may indulge in some The Chronic, be it the album or the actual stuff. The album's really good. Check it out. Check out The Chronic while you're hanging out with The Chronic. Anyways, but for the main vibe is like, damn, I'm glad this shit's over with. I'm glad that's over with. Wrapping it up. Let's see what's going on in your love life, Taurus. What's going on in Taurus's love life? What kind of energy will Taurus encounter over the next week? What is going on with Taurus over the next week? What kind of energy is going on with Taurus in their love life over the next week? I think now you may be feeling very creative, and you can benefit from writing in whichever way that manifests for you. Essays, poetry, music, either way, you can benefit from writing at this time. In your love life, you have the Eight of Cups. So some of you may be leaving a relationship behind. It's not something that you really, really want to do, but at the same time, it is. Taking into consideration the general energy of kind of like, oh, it's over. I'm so glad it's over. Well, you might be glad this situation's over. The Eight of Cups here. You're walking away from it. It's not for you anymore. It's not for you anymore. It has brought out more negativity, honestly, in you than is necessary. Now, I don't know if this is because it was a toxic situation or if they triggered issues that you were not aware were there, and so they kind of brought out these feelings that you have always been there, but you didn't realize it, and it's just very difficult for you to deal with. I think you were trying to, but with this person in this scenario, it's just not working out. Um, this is stuff that you still got to work on dealing with, whether it's with this person or not. And I think at this point, you're just like, okay, this is not working out with this person. I still got to deal with this, but like, it's not working out. I can't cope with it with this person. I just can't. I got to move on from this. Um, Again, you benefit from journaling, writing. Just get all those feelings and emotions out, because like you do care, but you're just starting to see it's not good for your mental health. It's very detrimental to your mental health, and you're at a place in your life where you have more respect for your mental health now than you did when you were younger. A lot more respect. So you're trying to listen to yourself, pay attention to how you feel, pay attention to who is triggering these feelings within you, and just analyzing things more. You're not just jumping in and being like, this is it, and hanging on tight. Now you're analyzing the situation more. You don't look at things at face value anymore. You kind of project it a little bit now. I think perhaps there's been situations that you were in where you didn't really think about the long term of how things would go, and so now you're trying to take that into consideration. You're seeing that either in this current relationship it's just not working out, so you got to leave it behind. Some of you may actually be leaving these negative toxic patterns behind, and some of you may be struggling to walk away from a situation, walk away from a way of functioning, and you're just having a hard time doing it because this is the way things have been for a really, really long time. But at the same time, you have more awareness to where you can kind of close things out and be like, okay, I'm aware, I know what happened, that's over now, I learned from it, let's move on. With that being said, let's move on. All right, let's see what's going on with Gemini. Shall we? Let's see what's going on with Gemini. What is going on with Gemini over the next week? What is going on with Gemini over the next week? What kind of energy will Gemini encounter over the next week, and how will it affect them? Gemini, you have the Three of Pentacles. So you may find that you benefit from collaborating with others and working with others. Now is a good time to just work some things out that may have been going awry, some problems, some issues. Um, it's not stuff that you can really figure out on your own. You can figure out how you feel on your own, but I think that this involves more than one people, and so y'all got to work at things collectively. Um, this could be a situation where there has been conflict and you're kind of working through it, but this could also be like some sort of project. Like, I'm a creative, so let's say if you're in, I deal with music a lot. So say if you're a musician, you're trying to work with multiple musicians. That's the vibe. You're collaborating or working with multiple people to achieve something, to brainstorm, and with some cases, in some situations and scenarios, you may be hitting some bumps with certain people where it's very difficult to work with them, but you still have to. So you're trying to find a way to roll with those punches and still find success and still work together effectively. It'd be very difficult in some situations, but it's necessary. Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. You wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't absolutely necessary. You would just go on your merry little way, doing your own thing without anybody's help. But it's necessary in this situation, and you're okay with that. You're okay with that, even if it's difficult. You know that, like, I think to a certain extent, you can't handle it all alone. Even though you can, like, if you really had to, you could. But I think to a certain extent, you just, it would be a lot easier if you had help and if you were working with some people. So even if you're inclined to solitude, you're okay with it. I guess I'll tolerate it for now. Let's see what's going on in Gemini's love life. What is going on in Gemini's love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Gemini encounter over the next week? And how will it affect them? What's going on with Gemini? Okay, so we have the Three of Cups in Gemini's love life. Interesting. So you could be in a situation where you're working things out with somebody. There may have been problems between you and the person that you were dating, person you're committed to. You've been having issues. So, but it's looking like y'all are gonna be trying to work through things and reunite and, just kind of like have a good time, enjoy each other's company. Like, once y'all get through this, everything's going to be fine and daily, like cotton candy again, and you guys are going to be able to enjoy each other's company and go out and have fun again, and everything's going to be fine. Now, in some situations, there may be multiple people involved, like you may be involved in a love triangle, either you or your partner are seeing multiple people. I don't know if it's like a situation where you have been seeing one person mostly exclusively, but like still dating multiple people, but you've been seeing one person exclusively, almost. Like I said, almost, because you've been dating other people too. So it's like you're not fully committed to them, but they have most of your attention. They have most of your time. They have most of your effort. Um, But you may be at a point where it's like, yo, it's time to make a decision. It's time to make a decision because you're just at a point where things are starting to affect each other negatively and it's causing more drama than it is pleasure. And so now it's time to figure it out. Now it's time to figure out how to handle it. It's time to figure out who you're going to stick with. It's time to figure out who you're going to separate from. And it's time to work through that. So if you are separating from people, I think that these are people or a person that you still want to remain on good terms with because you really do enjoy their company, but just not in a relationship. So it's one of those things where it's like, let's just be friends, you know? And it is. And I think some of you will be mutually okay with that. I really, really do. Um, because you're not 100% in it and they know that they're not getting 100% from you, so it's just kind of like, okay, you're just saying it, confirming what I already know. That's fine. It's been fun. I'm gonna put my focus, relationship wise, or potential relationship or funship, whatever, situationship wise, in somebody else, because it's clearly not going anywhere in this situation. So either whether you are separating from somebody or getting back together with them, either way, it requires a hammering out of certain details. I mean, not necessarily you can straight up ghost, but I don't think you're going to do that. I think you're going to have more respect for the people that you have been seeing than to ghost them, which is cool. It's really cool. I think it's really cool. Because it's a whole lot easier to stop talking to somebody. It's more difficult to sit there and communicate with somebody like, this is why, and in a way that's not like, you're a horrible person. You know, because I really don't think it's necessarily that the other person or parties are like bad people. It's just you're not quite on the same level, you know, and just kind of clarifying that and moving on. Um, some people it's just not working out with, and that's okay. You're both okay with it. Yeah, and there are some of you that are just you're just staying in that state of dating. You're seeing multiple people, you're going out and you're having fun, you're having a good time, and hey, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I feel like you're being honest with the people that you were dealing with in regards to what you want, whether or not you want something serious or fling, etc., etc. So no matter what you decide to do, I think you're still gonna have fun. All right. No matter how things work out, I think you're still gonna enjoy yourself. You're gonna be satisfied with your love life, even if you end up alone. You're gonna be okay with that. So that's kind of cool. All right, let's move on to Cancer. Okay, let's see what is going on with Cancer. What is going on with Cancer this week? What kind of energy will Cancer encounter? What is going on with Cancer over the next week? What kind of energy will Cancer encounter? You have the Knight of Wands. So right now you're all about having a good time. You have a lot of energy right now that you're anxious to get out. You want to do something. You want to do something. You want to do something. And so you may be going to do something. You may be making sudden decisions to like take a trip or just seemingly out of nowhere. It seems out of nowhere that you're making these choices. The people around you and the people that know you, but not to you. It's not out of nowhere. It's just happening very quickly. It's just happening very quickly, but it's not out of nowhere. It's something that you've had a desire for quite some time. It's just now it just happened very quickly. The desire was brewing for quite some time, and then bam, it's there. It's like just there. After a long time, it just finally manifests. Um, happens very quickly. And you're very passionate about what it is that you're doing. It's very important to you, and but you're not taking it too seriously either. Um, you're not taking it too lightly either because you are passionate about this. But the main priority for you is to have a good time. It's to enjoy the experience more than anything else. You just want to enjoy the experience of what's going on. You could have a tendency to jump forward without considering the consequences of your actions. That very, very high energy. You're going to have a lot of energy to get things done this week. That's awesome to be able to be productive. But I do also think that you may have an attitude. Now, I'm not saying that you're always in a mood, but you have no problem telling somebody about themselves. Like you have no problem snapping. If somebody pisses you off, you're gonna let them know. You know, it could be one of those situations where you're just like having a conversation, and maybe it's a friendly debate, quote unquote, friendly debate. But then perhaps somebody says something that's a little not so friendly, and does it make sense? And so you'll have like there'll be this shift. You'll go from joking and laughing and ha 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 and discussing it to being like, wait a second, okay, really? Calling the motherfucker out. No problem. It's gonna happen super, super fast. And Definitely going to be one of those mood swings, one of those famous mood swings. That's how it's going to be perceived to other people. Can't help but laugh because I know this. I know this. I'm describing an experience I've witnessed many, many times. So, yeah, you may switch up on people, but just as quick as you switch into a bad mood, you could switch back into your fun and light mood. So you may be like calling somebody out and, telling them the what, when, and why for, and then go back to like joking, like, okay, yeah, I told you off. Now, what were we doing again? Let's go back to having fun. So you definitely, um, you're a little feisty. You're feeling a little feisty this week. So I definitely feel bad for anybody who pisses you off. Uh, they will not expect the reaction they get. Some people, they see Cancer, they see how emotional and sensitive you are, and so when the freaking head twists around like the exorcist, it catches people off guard. So you can be catching some motherfuckers off guard. Let's see what's going on in your love life over the next week, Cancer. What's going on in Cancer's love life? What's going on in Cancer's love life over the next week? Cancer, you have the Seven of Swords. Sneaky, sneaky, sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. Some of you are being very, very sneaky. There's something that you are not telling your significant other. You are hiding something from them. You're hiding your feelings. It doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. You could have some very strong feelings that you're afraid to express and open up to because of how strongly and deeply you feel. You're not quite sure it's safe for you to be that way with this person yet. So you're just keeping certain things under wraps, and you have surface level perception that you're giving off. That's all people know. They don't know what's really there, and you like it that way. Um, some of you could be doing stuff behind your partner's back, like they could be busy with work or whatnot, just distracted with their normal tasks, and while they're doing all that, you're getting into trouble. Cancer. Oh my goodness. Oh, some of you maybe messing around. Some of you may be messing around. It's not so good for your partner. If you're committed, definitely not good. Definitely not good. But if you're dating, you're definitely seeing multiple people, or you're talking to multiple people. If you're not like literally seeing them, you have multiple people that you're communicating with, and they don't know about each other. Oops. If you're not committed, then you're not committed. But I don't know. I think that there may be a bit of manipulation going on here. Um, because of course you don't want to get caught. You don't want to lose any options while you're still trying to figure out what you want. Oh, Cancer. Now, some of you may unfortunately be dealing with a partner that's doing stuff while you're at work or taking care of the kids or the house and all that stuff. They're out getting into trouble, doing all kinds of shit. Um, so this could be a very difficult time with some people in some relationships. You could be having a very hard time trusting somebody the other way around. Um, it's just not the best time in your relationships. There's something you're not doing or saying. This isn't necessarily you messing around. This could also be you holding back. There's something, some way you feel, something, there's just something that you are reluctant to communicate. You're keeping it hidden. I don't know if you're afraid your partner is going to get upset or what, but at the moment, you're keeping it to yourself. I think you want to just keep things fun and lighthearted, and this is something that could definitely um, be a buzzkill. So you're not trying to open that Pandora's box yet. You know, like, even though I feel like the Seven of Swords has a negative connotation, it's not always negative. Like, you could be freaking planning a surprise party for your partner. You know, this, it's just something that you're not telling them. It's something that you're keeping hidden from them, or that they are keeping hidden from you. So, and that's just going to be the vibe this week. We'll see what happens next week. Will you talk about it next week? I don't know. We'll find out. We will find out next week. Until then, let us move on to Leo. Where my Leo's at? All right, let's see. What is going on with Leo over the next week? What kind of energy will Leo encounter over the next week? What's going on with Leo? Leo, you have Temperance, so you are just trying to get back into balance. Things have been crazy. It's over. You can breathe now. You've been very discombobulated. You've been very overwhelmed. Now it's time for you to take care of you. A little TLC, a little self-care. Find yourself, get yourself back into balance after just dealing with all the chaos of the holidays. You just want to relax. You just want to chill out. You want to get back into your routine. You know you have a certain way that you do things that gets extremely disruptive by the holidays, by any holidays, but especially at the end of the year. Oh my gosh, it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot. And you're just glad that it's over. Glad that it's over. You can get back to what you usually do, and take time to clear your mind and just relax into your typical routine. I mean, that's pretty direct, pretty simple and direct right there. All right, Leo, let's see what's going on in your love life. Is that as simple and direct? We shall find out. What's going on in Leo's love life? What's going on in Leo's love life for the next week? What will they encounter? It looks like you have the Three of Cups energy too. So, um, you want to just go out and spend time with your partner. Enjoy yourself. Party. Maybe go on double dates, whatever, go out with friends. You know, you're just ready to have a good time. And granted, okay, yeah, maybe you've been doing that over the holidays, but it hasn't been as fun because it's been a holiday shit. You've probably been dealing with a lot of family, and now you're ready to just not deal with them anymore, and you want to go have fun. You want to have your regular fun. So you and your partner may be going out and doing that. Some situations, if there has been difficulty with a partner, or you been on a break. You guys may be working things out, coming back together. Um, happily, happily. May have to go through have some difficult conversations, but I think everything's gonna work out long term because the conversation's gonna clear things up, um, alleviate some worries, concerns, etc., etc. Clear that stuff up. Now, this could be a situation where multiple people are involved. And perhaps your partner has found that out. That's something that has to be worked through. Of course, it's going to cause difficulty if you're committed or even dating multiple people. Some people may not be of the same mindset where if you're not exclusively committed to somebody, then it's open game. You can date whomever, until somebody claims you and you're committed. It just is what it is. So you may be going and doing that, and there could be somebody in particular out of these people that is trying to get your attention a little bit more than the others. You're just trying to have fun. You're just trying to have a good time. But not I think that they might also have your attention more than the others. Um, it's like you're going out and having a good time, and you may be dating multiple people, like I said that, but there is one particular person that you are more attached to than the others, and you may be starting to feel like it's time to choose. So you may be at a place where it's like it's time to let go of some of these people and become exclusive with somebody, because it's like, yeah, you're seeing multiple people, but so are they. So are they. If they're not, they can. If you can do it, like, they can too. So you may find that you have extra feelings for this specific person, and you're like, okay, it's time to clear this up and figure things out with this person because they mean more to me. I always go back to them. I always think about them. They mean more to me. So this is what I want. I want to work it out. So I'm maybe dealing with that as well. All right, let's move on. Let's see what's going on with my Virgo. All right, what's going on with Virgo over the next week? What kind of energy will Virgo have? What is going on with my Virgo? What's going on with Virgo over the next week? What will they encounter? Virgo, you have the High Priestess, so you're kind of keeping to yourself. If you're dealing with people, you're keeping the conversation to a minimum. You don't really feel like dealing with people. If you're dealing with them, you don't feel like dealing with them. You got stuff that's on your mind that you want to think about without interruption. Um, it's very, very important to you. It's hard for you to figure things out in regards to this when you have all this other shit going on. So of course you got to take care of your responsibilities, and then when you don't have them to take care of, you're trying to figure this out. You don't really want to deal with anybody, because you know that this is only something that you can figure out. like other people can give their perspective, etc., but it really will only confuse you because I don't think they know everything about the situation, and their perspective is based on their perception of your situation. So they may be giving you like, oh, they may be saying, oh, this person did that, or oh, that's fucked up, etc., etc. Well, they may not know all the details. Maybe that happened as a result of something that you may have said again. You know, like there's always more to the story. So they could have some sort of reaction where they're like, fuck that bitch, fuck that hoe, etc., etc. Fuck your family, fuck whoever it is, like, screw them. But they don't really know, like, okay, but you know that you're not innocent either, that you contributed to the situation as well. And the again, they don't know that, so but you do. So you know you got to figure out what is going on in this situation without their input because you know, and their input will be prejudiced. So that's why you're searching for your own. You know, you've had a lot of confusion, not quite sure how to deal with this, but you know you feel very, very strongly about it. And you are you're looking within for guidance instead of looking to other people for guidance. You're looking within, and that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. You know, I don't think it's often that I don't think that it's often that you truly acknowledge that there is more, that you have more of a role to play in what is going on than it may seem at face value. You know that. Other people don't, but you do. And you know that you need to take that into consideration in regards to what's going on. So, again, kind of keeping yourself, looking within, not really wanting to fuck with anybody. I mean, if you have to, you will, but when it comes to what's going on inside your head, that's not something you're talking to other people about. So, what is going on in Virgo's love life over the next week? What is going on in Virgo's love life? Virgo, you have the Seven of Cups in your love life, so you may be thinking a lot. You're thinking of all the possibilities, all the potentials. If you may be seeing multiple people, you may have multiple people to choose from. You're not really sure who you connect the most with because you connect with them all. So at the moment, you're not committing with anybody to anybody because you feel connected to all of them. You're just not really sure how you're going to deal with this. Some of you may be fantasizing a lot, like if you aren't seeing anybody or multiple people, you are daydreaming about having a relationship and fantasizing about things that could happen, what could happen, what couldn't happen, just really trying to take into consideration all the possibilities before you make a decision on how you want to move forward in your love life. I think that there may be situations where someone has offered you affection and love and has been giving it to you, showing it to you, and you have not been reciprocating. And it's because you don't know if you want to. You're like, you have a lot of uncertainty with that, and you don't want to make that choice, that decision when you're still not really sure what you want to do. I'm not really sure if this is even what you want. Um, Perhaps you're dealing with a situation um, where in the past you've lost somebody that you loved very dearly, and so it has you a lot more hesitant in regards to relationships. I think a lot of it is because you still kind of hold a flame or a candle for somebody else, and it really is making it hard for you to seriously consider these other possibilities. Seriously. Like, having fun, not taking it seriously. Yeah. Yeah. But when it comes to like having something serious with somebody, no, not right now. Not right now. You don't know what you want right now. Still trying to figure it out. Um, but in the meantime, you're not really trying to give anybody love. I mean, I don't. you're not really. You're not willing to share your emotions with anybody at the moment because you're trying to figure them out. You're still trying to figure them out for yourself. So, all right, good luck with that, Virgo. Because I support your decision to figure this out on your own with the High Priestess without anybody else's input. Because other people don't really know you, they don't really know the other person, and they don't really know the situation. You do. So, all right, moving along. What is up, Lucky? Welcome, welcome. Thank you for showing up. All right, let's see what's going on with Libra. What is up with my Libras over the next week? Just so you all know, if I don't respond immediately, it's because I'm trying to focus on my read. I will respond when I'm done. Let's see what's going on with Libra over the next week. Okay, Libra, it looks like you have the Two of Wands. So you have a decision that you need to make. I want to say it's very important, but it's not always the case. Some people it's very important, some people it's minor, but either way, you have a few different options. Not sure which path to take to get to where you're going. Because, like, you have a goal, there are multiple paths you can take. You're trying to figure out which one is more so in alignment with what you are trying to achieve and what you want to experience. Um, Uncertain, but considering the possibilities of each one. So, okay, if I go this way, this could happen, and this could lead me here. Or if I go this way, this could happen, and this could lead me here. So you're taking that time over this upcoming week to consider the possibilities and try to make a decision on which path, which direction you want to go in. Okay, Libra? It's pretty simple and direct. Let's see what's going on in your love life. What is going on in Libra's love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Libra encounter? All right, Libra, you have the Six of Pentacles. So you may be in a situation where one of you may be putting more effort and energy into the relationship or partnership than the other person. There's an uneven exchange here, um, which you should definitely be wary of, especially if you're the one putting in more energy than the other person. You're just getting breadcrumbs. So, um, but that is not always the case. You both could be working together to create something. And like again, some cases one person does more than the other. But I think that in this scenario, I think that it could be perceived that way, but it's not quite that way. Like at face value, it may look like one person is putting in more effort, doing more work than the other, but if you look deeper into the situation, that's not the way it is. There's an equal exchange. It's just the exchange comes in different ways. Like the way one person does things or shows their affection and whatnot may look another, and then with the other person, it looks a different way. So you could be in a situation where you're both taking care of each other. You're taking care of each other. It's not necessarily obvious in the ways you're doing it. You're not doing it in the same exact way, but what one person lacks, the other person makes up for, and the other way around. Okay, so in some situations where you're lucky, that's going on, but in others, it's a situation where either you or the other person aren't putting as much effort in. Um, Breadcrumbing situation where you just kind of talk to each other every now and then. When y'all do talk, it's just like a little bit of affection every now and then. And honestly, I don't know, and you don't know if this is what you really want. I think you have some confusion as to whether or not this is what you really want. So you're definitely going to be taking time to consider what will happen if you continue down this path, where it will go, and if that's where you want to go. Is that the way you want to live your life? It's going to take the time to try to figure that out. So, all right, let's move on to Scorpio. Let's see what is going on with Scorpio over the next week. What kind of energy will Scorpio encounter over the next week? What kind of energy Scorpio encounter over the next week? What's going on? Scorpio, you are tired. Four of Swords. You're tired. You're exhausted. You are emotionally overdrawn. And what I mean by that is you just you're 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 burned out. You've been putting yourself out there a lot. You've been doing a lot. You've been dealing with a lot of people's emotions. You've been dealing with a lot of your emotions, but you've also been dealing with a lot of other people's emotions. And you're really burnt out, and just trying to take the time to yourself to recharge. And, well, self-care. Self-care, it's so important. It's so important for everybody, not just you, Scorpio. It's so important for everybody. But you are definitely recognizing, okay, it's time for me. It's me time. So whatever form this comes in for you, sleeping all day, exercises, detoxes, whatever. Either way, you're kind of keeping to yourself and just trying to recharge, rejuvenate, um, and in some cases reflect on what has occurred. Work on healing, mind, body, and soul. That's going to be something that you're definitely focused on over the next week. Perhaps the holidays have just triggered some things within you, and you haven't really had the space or time to kind of work through those things. But you're taking that time and space. You're making the space and time this week, so that's good. Let's see what's going on in your love life. What is going on in Scorpio's love life over the next week? What's going on with Scorpio over the next week? How will it affect? Scorpio, you have the Six of Wands. So I think that you may be receiving a lot of attention right now. You love it. You love it. Obviously, you're working on taking care of yourself. But part of that is definitely influenced by feeling loved and feeling attractive to other people. So you may be getting a lot of people's attention. Um, if you and your significant other have kind of been at odds or debating over something in your life, it could be serious, it could be simple. Um, the other party's going to see your perspective and you're going to be like, I win. So you're going to get what you want out of this situation. You definitely are going to get what you want. Now, with some of you, you don't even know what you want. You don't know what you want from a relationship, and you may be trying to take the time to figure it out. You don't necessarily have a person of interest right now. That even if you did, you don't even know what you want from your love life or from a relationship right now, or the type of person or type of relationship that you want. You don't really know that right now, but you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure it out. So that's good. It's good to know what you want before you date. Before you date, it's good to have that in mind. And don't settle, because there are so many people in the world. There are so many people in the world. Like, don't settle for less than what you deserve because you're lonely. And that could be really hard. It could be really hard for some people because it's like, damn, I just don't want to be alone anymore. I just want to have somebody to talk to and spend time with, etc. And like maybe you do, but maybe that person is very detrimental to your state of mind, and so like perhaps you've worked hard to get away from them or detach, but then you're lonely and you want attention. So it's just you could definitely be tempted to fall back into interactions with people that just give you a lot of attention. They make you feel desired. They're not necessarily good for you, but they make you feel desired and wanted and loved and seen and accepted, even though they're not who you want and love and see and accept. So the feeling's not necessarily mutual, you know. But you're definitely getting a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a high out of getting attention from people. So it makes you feel good, makes you feel better. Um, I guess if I said feel better, you may be feeling not so good, or maybe you have felt very negative about yourself in regards to your love life, but you're starting to see that you are attractive and you do have things to offer. Perhaps you've been convinced of the opposite. You're starting to see that you do have a lot going for you. That's good. That's good. That's good. You're taking care of yourself again. It's like instead of getting down on yourself, you're taking care of yourself, and that makes all the difference. It really does. It really does. Okay, I got it. Moving on to, where are we moving on to? Sagittarius. We're doing the massages. Alright. What is up with Sagittarius? What's going on with Sagittarius over the next week? What kind of energy will Sagittarius encounter over the next week? Sagittarius, you have the Magician. So you definitely are trying to bring some things into reality. You're trying to make shit happen. Trying to make shit happen for you. It's not easy. It's been a little bit difficult, but you believe in yourself. You believe you can make it happen. You know what? I do too. I believe in you as well, and I believe you can make it happen as well. So that's what you're working to do. That's your priority. Your priority is bringing this into reality and reaching your goal. Because this is something that you feel destined to. Like, this is supposed to be going on. I feel like this is supposed to be going on in my life. This is meant to happen. You see it as it's as if it's in alignment with the things that you want in your life or where you're headed. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life. What is going on in Sagittarius' love life over the next week? What kind of energy will Sagittarius encounter in their love life over the next week? Ooh, Sagittarius. You have the 9 of Cups, so some of you, your wish is coming true. You're getting what you want. Your partner loves you just as much as you love them. It feels fated. You feel like soulmates. You feel like it's meant to be. And wow, what a beautiful feeling that is. What a beautiful feeling that is. Because it's one thing to feel that way. It's a beautiful feeling to have just in general. But for it to be mutual, wow. It's magical. It's magical. It's majestical. Um, majestical is not a word. Majestic. There we go. It's like I was throwing mystical in there with majestical. Okay. But yeah, so if you are not already seeing somebody, um, you meet somebody that's everything that you want. And they're attracted to you as well. They're attracted to you as well. So that's really exciting. Um, I think that you have this expectation that things won't ever work out because stuff that's happened in the past. But I think this situation, or even situationship, even if it's a situationship, it's going to show you the opposite. It's going to show you that just because things have been fucked up in the past doesn't mean it's always going to be that way. It doesn't mean it's going to be that way with everybody. I think a lot of things people don't understand. I didn't even really understand it for the very longest time is that relationships are different based upon the people involved. So based upon the state of mind of who you're involved with the dynamic of the relationship could go different than another person. So let's give an example of a relationship, one person, two different people, two different relationships, two different personalities. In one scenario, you could like have the same scenario of y'all living together and whatnot, and it'd be good. You guys are working together. It's like you're happy, you're successful, you know. And then in a same situation with somebody else, when you're living together and working together, you're not happy. It's toxic. It's detrimental. You know, you both are. Or they're dragging you down. You're dragging each other down. You know. And if you are in relationships that are consistently like the one I just described, it could definitely make you better. I don't know when I got better. Love is surely better when it's gone. So it's like, it can make you bitter and it can make you feel like love is something that never works out. You know, it's just a fairy tale or whatever. I think that you're starting to learn and see that really it's not necessarily that good relationships don't exist or that's not out there. It just all depends on the person that you're with and their state of mind, the way they perceive the world, the way they interact in relationships, you know. It makes all the difference. How the person thinks, the way they function, you know, it makes all the difference. all the difference. So you can have the same scenario, two different people, and two different results of the same scenario, but it's because of the components, it's because of the ingredients. Either the ingredients mix well and create something wonderful, or they don't, and it's disgusting. So I think you may be a little bit more used to it being disgusting, so it might be a little uncomfortable when it comes out good. So it might be a little uncomfortable, but it'll be okay. You'll be okay. You'll get used to it. And I think some of you just, you're not settling, and since you're not settling for less than what you deserve, you may be getting a little jaded, feeling like you're never going to find it. So you may feel like you're never going to find it. So you may be getting caught up in negativity. Some of y'all may be getting caught up in negativity this week in regards to your love life. Please don't get lost there. Please don't get lost there. All right, let's move on to my Cappies. What is up with my Capricorns? Let's see what's going on with Capricorn. What is going on with Capricorn over the next week? What kind of energy will Capricorn encounter over the next week? What is going on with Capricorn? Capricorn, we have the Nine of Cups. Finally, it's over. It's over. This period of time, it's over. Finally, you can get to having fun. Your birthday's coming up. It's not already here. Your birthday's coming up. It's time to be about you. It's time to make it about you. It's been about everybody else for the past month and a half. Oh my gosh, it's been driving me crazy. But now, it's about you. So even if you are one of those Capricorns whose birthday is today, or was yesterday, or the day before, you know, it's very frustrating when you're a December Capricorn, or even a December Sagittarius, but we're talking about Capricorn right now. You're just thankful that it's all over with. You're thankful that all the chaos of the holidays over with. You can't stand it. You can't stand it. It's the way it always is. You've never been okay with it, and you still aren't. So you're happy that all the chaos of the holidays, it's gone for now. And now you can just focus on you. You can celebrate you. You can decide where you want to go moving forward, what it is that you desire. And I think that's what you're really trying to focus on, is what it is that you want from life. You know, asking yourself, what do I want? What do I want? And not only what do I desire, but what do I really want? What is it that I truly desire that, like, I feel like may be reachable, but something that you have consistently always desired? You're trying to figure it out. You're trying to figure yourself out. You're trying to figure your path out. You're trying to figure out what it is that you want. So, and it's easier for you to figure this out when you're not worried about what everybody else wants. So, holidays, definitely worried about what everybody else wants. Now, time to focus on what you want, you know? Okay, let's see what's going on in your love life, Capricorn. See what is going on in Capricorn's love life. We have the Wheel, Capricorn, in regards to your love life. There are major changes going on in your relationships. Some may be coming to an end, others may be coming to a beginning. Some just may be coming around a very important stage and level of your relationship, because when you're in a long-term relationship, it doesn't always stay the same. The scenario is not always the same. You gotta everybody if can't talk. No, we should always try to grow or have a desire to grow as individuals in life. I feel personally that it is something that should never go away. It's a desire that should never reach a limit. There are no limits. Growth, there is no end to growth. The only person that can put an end to your growth is you. So if you are with somebody long term, then you're growing together. You may not grow at the same speed, you may not grow at the same level, but you are still growing together. And there are certain things that you go through in life that change the direction of your relationship. And right now you're at one of those points where the direction of your relationship and your love life is changing. I think there's some sort of external event that has triggered this. Not necessarily an event, maybe it's a conversation, but it's something external to you. This shift has been triggered by something external to you. Well, it's both. It's both external and internal, because something happens external to you that changes something inside you and takes your relationship in a different direction. Communication is very important right now with your partner, because as you're going through these shifts and changes, it's important to kind of at least let your partner know where you are, even if they aren't on the same level. But I think if you are not seeing anybody, I think you may be getting to a place where you're okay with that, and that may be different than what you're used to. Perhaps you've had the desire to be with somebody like all the time. Maybe you have been one of those people that never wants to be alone. Well, now you may be finally getting to a point where you're okay being alone. And actually, that's a very good shift to have in your relationship. It's so important to be okay being alone, to be okay being an individual, because a healthy relationship involves two individuals coming together. People always say two become one. Okay, but it's two individuals. So I can't help but think of Station from Bill and Ted. I know not all of you guys have seen that. I'm showing my age, but in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, they have to get a scientist to build good robot us's, or good robot Bill and Ted's. And when they get referred to the scientist, it ends up being these two little creatures. But later on in the movie, they join together and they become one creature. So it starts out they're two separate individuals that create one and achieve the goal of creating the good robot essence. That's what they're called in the movie. Sorry, that movie just came on the other day, but it made me think of that. So it's like two individuals in a relationship. So often people come in as one half to a whole, and that's just it's not healthy. It's not healthy because it tends to generate a codependent type of relationship, and that's definitely not healthy. It's not healthy for either person. Yeah, major shift in your love life. Looking forward to it, because even if this shift involves an ending, it's still going to work out in your favor. It really is. Faded Bones. What? Hello, Sunauticus. Welcome. Like your name. Okay. Here we go. Aquarius. Alright. Let's see what is going on with Aquarius over the next week. on with Aquarius over the next week? If you like cheesy movies, go watch Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. It's so cheesy, but I love it. Anyways, Aquarius, what's going on this week? Okay, let's see what's going on with you guys. You have the Two of Pentacles. So you have a lot going on. You're dealing with a lot. You're juggling a lot. But you're managing to make it all work. Trying not to lose your mind. Being successful. It's a lot, but you're making it work. And you're making it work with style. Like, you're making it work in a way that makes it seem easy. It's not. It's not. It's not easy at all, but you make it look that way because you're so good at what you're doing. You're so good at what you do that you make it look easy. Like anybody could do it. Like I could do it, you know? I'm not saying I'm incapable. I don't know what you're doing, but still, if it makes it seem like to say somebody who's completely unqualified and has no idea what's going on, it makes it seem like to even them, oh, I can do that, you know? But it's not that easy. You're just good at what you do. It can be overwhelming. It can be very, very overwhelming. You're good at masking this. You're good at hiding this. You're really good at portraying ease. You know, there's a lot more going on beneath the surface than that. People see you handling business and handling it well. You see yourself as spinning a whole bunch of plates and they're all wobbling and like on the verge of falling down at every single moment and could potentially fall down at any single moment, but you still are managing to keep things spinning. And like I said, you're making it look easy. It's not. But good for you, man. Like, props to you for getting so much done, making so much happen, because I also feel like things may have been really rough lately. There may have been a lot more, there may be a lot more obstacles that you have been dealing with lately than you typically would. So that you were able to pull this off, it's a big deal. And you should give yourself snaps. A little mini applause. It's not a mini applause. I say mini applause. It's like I've been on a few production sets, and you know when you're filming or recording and it goes well, if you're like on the production end, on the other side of the camera, you can't be like in the middle of the recording. So these are claps. These are little claps. Yes, yes. So we're giving you little claps here. Yes, yes. While you handle your business, you are doing a good job doing it. Okay, let's see what's going on in your love life, Aquarius. What is going on with Aquarius over the next week in their love life? What's going on in Aquarius's love life over the next week? What's going on in Aquarius's love life over the next week? Aquarius, you have the Nine of Pentacles. So, I mean, you're kind of keeping yourself, you know, even if you are in a relationship, you're really focusing on yourself and what you got to do, your responsibilities, your job. You know, if this actually reminds me of what I was just talking about in regards to two individuals coming into a relationship, you're working on being more of an individual. I think that some of you may have been in a relationship that has been codependent on a certain level, and you're trying to break away from that. You're trying to build your own success and feel confident in who you are as an individual entity. And this is actually giving your partner the freedom and initiative to do the same. So maybe they never really saw it that way. But then once you started focusing and working on yourself, perhaps initially they were like, wait a second, because initially it may have felt like you were pulling away from them in general. So and if it's been a codependent situation, it just was not received well initially. But then after a conversation, it turned into inspiration. So as you focus on yourself and building yourself up as an individual in your relationship, it also inspires your partner to do the same. So that's actually really, really fucking cool, because your relationship is going to grow and evolve through this. And honestly, it will be a test. It is going to be a test on whether or not you guys are still in alignment, whether or not you still have the same overall goals. Because you can be two separate individuals with two separate purposes in life, but also the same goal. Two separate purposes that are leading to the same goal, the same destination that you're both trying to reach. So, the destination may change. So in some situations, okay, maybe you do grow apart. Maybe as you become more in touch with yourself and your partner becomes more in touch with themselves, you realize, okay, this isn't me. This relationship isn't me. It's not for me. We're not headed in the same direction. We're not on the same level. In which case, it could be the first step to the end of the relationship. But I think if that is what happens, then it has needed to happen for some time. It's just starting to manifest in a way that's, I wouldn't say responsible, or reasonable. Like it just makes sense now. Before, it may have been something that you would be fighting and kicking and screaming, but then like now, after you guys go through this, it'll just make sense. Be like, it makes sense to do this. Like, why are we trying to make something work that is, we don't want the same things, So, I think that in regards to your love life, it's definitely initiating major growth and direction, and pushing you where you want to be. Because it becomes more clear what you want. And it becomes more clear that you shouldn't have to sacrifice what you want to be in a relationship with somebody. It's that leads to resentment, that leads to a lot of negativity. All right, let's move on to Pisces. Last but not least, my patient Pisces. All right. Let's see what's going on with Pisces over the next week. What kind of energy will Pisces encounter over the next week? What is going on with Pisces? Pisces, you have the Eight of Pentacles. So you're really focused on work. Just catching up on work. Going back to work after the holidays. Same old, right? Some of you may have been encountering some very difficult situations that you are finding a way to work through. It's been difficult, but you're figuring it out. Some of you may be focusing on bettering yourselves as individuals. You may be choosing to take classes, educate yourself on some things that you never really considered before. Just improving yourself in general. And if you are not already doing that, you're going to come to a realization that you need to. Something is going to happen in your life that highlights to you that, hey, you need to change. You need to work on this specific area in your life. You need to evolve because the way you have been functioning in this area up to this point is not working for you. It's not working for you. So it's time to reevaluate the situation and recalculate which direction you're going into or going to. Um, is it the direction you want to go in? Is this what you still want from life? If not, what are you going to do about it? Some of you may be starting a new job or deciding to switch jobs. All right, let's see what's going on in your love life. Some of you may be working at home, working from home, working on your home. All right, what's going on in Pisces love life over the next week? What is going on in Pisces love life over the next week? Start with Pisces. Pisces, you have the wheel here, so your relationships are going through some major changes. Some are coming to an end, some are beginning, some are evolving. Either way, you have come to a point in your relationship. It's a turning point. Things will never be the same after this. Whether that's a good or bad thing depends on what's going on in your relationship, but I promise you it's not going to be the same. It is permanently changed once you've reached this level. This is not to say that it's something that cannot be worked on. Actually, I think you're going to be putting a lot of work into your relationship and your love life. Even if you don't have anybody that you're seeing, you're really going to try to figure out what it is that's been going awry. Like what are the potential negative habits that you have developed that are counterproductive to having a healthy partnership? There is some self-evaluation going on. And I think it's been needed, honestly. You're just trying to work on bettering yourself so that you can be a better partner. So just in general, when it comes to who you are personally, you're working on evolving and you're growing. And this is going to have a direct effect on your relationship. So it's kind of like, it's one of those situations where, if it's in alignment, it will continue, it will survive this change. But if you guys are just not meant to be, you're going to grow apart. You're going to grow separate. But it's like, it's not a bad thing. It may feel bad. It may feel awful because you care about this person so much, but y'all just aren't in alignment. And it sucks. It really, really fucking sucks. But that's just the way it is. And instead of just feeling awful about it not working out, maybe you should just try to figure out what it is about the situation that makes it not work out so that you can recognize in the future when this is happening. So if you encounter the same situation, you know it's not going to work for you already, so you're not going to go down that path. So whether or not you and your person stay together through this, you are going to be more aware of who you are, what it is that you want from yourself and from your life and from a relationship. So things are going to become more clear, even if it involves an ending. So not all endings are bad. You have to have death to have birth. Something has to come to an end before it can begin again. Life is about cycles. It will end and it will begin again. It's all a big circle. It's all a big circle. It's all a big cycle. So just trust in the universe, trust in the cycles, just the patterns that exist in life. And don't be afraid to encounter the difficult parts, because they're coming, they're there, and you will encounter them again. Life is not easy. It's not easy. It's a journey. It's a movie. It's a biopic. It's an epoch. It's a trilogy. Whatever. You get the point. It's more than a trilogy. It's like freaking Encyclopedia Britannica. Whatever. You get the point. Big. Okay. Anyways. Yeah, I think I've got my point across. Those are your readings for the next week. I hope they resonate for accuracy purposes. And hopefully I'll see you guys again next week. Y'all have a great new year. Be safe. If you go out to have a good time, be safe. Please don't drive home drunk. And, just take care of yourself. Okay? And I will see you guys later.